Have you ever had that feeling that you're just constantly running on a treadmill? You're moving, your legs are pumping, you're putting in effort, but when you look around, it feels like you're not actually getting anywhere fast. It's a strange, unsettling feeling, isn't it? Perhaps you're working hard, doing your best, diligently saving a little bit of money here and there. You're trying to play it safe, follow all the traditional advice, but despite all that, there's this nagging voice inside you that whispers, is this all there is? Am I truly moving forward? Maybe you've got a perfectly good job. It pays the bills, or at least most of them. You're doing all the right things that society tells you to do. You show up, you put in your hours, you contribute. You might even feel a sense of accomplishment sometimes. But then every single month, it's like a broken record. Money comes in, and almost immediately money goes out. It's a constant cycle, a never-ending flow, and it feels like you're just treading water, barely keeping your head above the financial surface. The idea of truly building significant wealth, of having a real financial cushion, seems to remain just out of reach. And retirement? Oh, retirement. That feels like some incredibly far-off, hazy fantasy, doesn't it? Something you hope to reach, maybe if you're lucky, when you're 65 years old. It's a distant promise, a reward for decades of effort, but it doesn't feel real or tangible right now. It's a future that seems so far away, it's almost hypothetical. If any part of that feeling sounds familiar to you, if you've ever found yourself nodding along to those thoughts, then I urge you to stick with me. Don't go anywhere, because we are about to dive deep into a book that isn't just about money. It's about a complete mindset shift. This book is about something far more powerful, far more exciting. It's about understanding a different path, a path that allows you to start building something now, something real, something tangible, something significant that can give you freedom for life, not in 40 years, but potentially much, much sooner. It's about taking control, taking charge, and shaping your own financial destiny. Does that sound good to you? If so, then buckle up, because we're about to shift gears and explore a completely different way to approach money in life. Let's start by talking about what MJ DeMarco calls the slow lane. This is the path that most people are on, the one you've probably heard about your entire life. It's the standard playbook, the accepted wisdom, passed down from generation to generation. It goes something like this, doesn't it? Go to school, get good grades, work hard, get a stable job. Then make sure you save 10% of your income consistently year after year. Invest that money wisely, maybe in mutual funds or a retirement account. And then, if all goes well, you'll retire rich. Someday. That's the traditional wealth formula. It's what people generally consider the responsible, safe, and logical way to build financial security. It's the path of steady, incremental progress. It's the slow lane, and on the surface, it seems perfectly reasonable, doesn't it? It sounds like a solid plan. But here's where MJ DeMarco steps in, and he doesn't just disagree with this slow, steady approach. He absolutely destroys it. He doesn't just poke holes in it, he dismantles it brick by brick. He calls it, quite bluntly, a life of delayed dreams. Think about that phrase for a moment. Delayed dreams. It's powerful, isn't it? Because that's precisely what the slow lane implies. You are told to trade the best, most energetic, most vibrant years of your life. Your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, arguably the prime of your life, just so that maybe, just maybe, if everything goes perfectly, you'll have some true freedom and financial peace when you're 65 or 70 or even older. Is that really living? Is that truly experiencing life to its fullest? Is that maximizing your potential? Imagine waiting for decades, putting off adventures, delaying experiences, simply hoping for a reward far down the road. What if you don't even make it that far? It's a sobering thought, but a realistic one. Life is unpredictable. What if your health declines? What if unforeseen circumstances derail your carefully laid plans? What if you spend your youth waiting, your middle age working tirelessly, and your old age recovering from all that effort, or perhaps just managing declining health. It's a bleak picture, but for many it's a very real possibility if they stick exclusively to the slow lane. MJ says, and he's very direct about this, that's not wealth. That's not true financial freedom. That, he argues, is a trap. And the unfortunate truth is that most people, without even realizing it, are caught in this trap. They're following a path that, while seemingly safe, can lead to a life of perpetual financial struggle or, at best, freedom that arrives far too late to truly enjoy. Now, let's be clear. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a good job or earning a stable income. These things are foundations for life. They provide security and they allow you to take care of your responsibilities. But, and this is a huge but, when a job or a stable income becomes your only plan for building significant wealth and achieving financial independence, that's when you're stuck. That's when you put all your eggs in one basket, a basket that might not deliver the future you truly desire. Here's a crucial truth to consider, a truth that many people prefer not to face. Financial security is not guaranteed, not even with a stable job. The slow lane, by its very nature, makes you highly dependent on forces completely outside of your direct control. Think about it. The state of the economy, your boss's decisions, your company's performance, your personal health, the unpredictable ups and downs of the financial markets. All these factors can drastically impact your slow lane journey, and you have very little say over them. Wouldn't you rather be the one in the driver's seat? Wouldn't you rather build your own road, a road that you control, a road that leads exactly where you want to go at the speed you choose? That's the core question MJ DeMarco wants you to ask yourself. It's about shifting from being a passenger to being the architect of your own financial future. Now let's talk about a path that's even less desirable than the slow lane. Below the slow lane, according to MJ DeMarco, is what he calls the sidewalk. This is a dangerous place to be financially, a path that leads to constant stress and, often, financial destruction. The sidewalk is where people live entirely for today, with virtually no financial discipline whatsoever. They don't save, they don't plan, and they don't think much about tomorrow. They make money and they spend it just as fast or even faster. Their lifestyle is all about instant gratification, about keeping up appearances, about consuming endlessly. Think about it. New phones every year, the latest trendy shoes, multiple streaming subscriptions like Netflix, ordering expensive food delivery like DoorDash almost every night, trying to project an Instagram lifestyle of luxury and effortless living. They want it, they see it, they buy it immediately without much thought for the long-term consequences. You'll often hear people on the sidewalk say things that sound like justification for their spending habits. I work hard, I deserve it. And while hard work is commendable, deserving something doesn't always mean you should buy it right now, especially if you can't truly afford it. YOLO, right? You only live once, a phrase often used to justify impulsive and financially irresponsible decisions. I'll worry about saving later, but later often never comes, or it comes when it's too late to make a significant difference. But here's the harsh reality for those on the sidewalk. What happens when life throws an unexpected curveball? What happens when the car breaks down suddenly and needs expensive repairs? Or when the rent unexpectedly goes up? Or even worse, when they lose their job and there's no emergency fund to fall back on? That's when everything crashes down around them. The flimsy facade of their lifestyle shatters, and they are left in a very vulnerable, very stressful position. If you find yourself always broke by payday, if your bank account often hits zero or goes into the negative, before your next paycheck arrives. Then, my friend, this is where you're driving. This is the sidewalk, and it's a very dangerous road to be on. It's often driven by emotional spending. You feel a certain way, perhaps bored, stressed, or wanting to feel good, and so you buy something to get that temporary hit of dopamine. It's also about keeping up appearances. People on the sidewalk often buy things to impress other people, to project an image of success or happiness, even if they don't actually like those people much, or if they can't truly afford the items. It's a performance, not a reality. And the sad thing is, this mentality is everywhere. It's fueled by social media, where curated highlight reels make everyone else's life look perfect and abundant. Our culture often praises consumerism and flashy displays of wealth, even if that wealth is just debt. But the end result is always the same. It leaves you broke, stressed, and stuck in a never-ending cycle of earning and spending. You'll find highly educated people, even those with seemingly great salaries, say $100,000 or more a year, still living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because their lifestyle expenses grew even faster than their bank account. They lease expensive luxury cars, buy designer clothes and accessories, eat out at fancy restaurants frequently, but they couldn't handle a sudden $500 emergency without going into debt. That's the classic sidewalk mentality. High income, but zero savings, zero financial resilience. And if you don't get off the sidewalk, if you don't learn to control your spending and start building some financial buffers, life will hit you hard. The bills will come due, emergencies will happen, and without any financial reserves, you'll be in a constant state of panic and struggle. The sidewalk is a road to nowhere good, and recognizing if you're on it is the first crucial step to changing your direction. Now let's talk about the path that MJ DeMarco champions, the one that can truly transform your financial future, the fast lane. It's important to understand what the fast lane is not before we dive into what it is. The fast lane is not about getting rich overnight through some magic trick, a lottery win, or by chasing get-rich-quick schemes. It's not about luck, and it's certainly not about irresponsible shortcuts. Instead, the fast lane is about something much more profound and sustainable. It's about intelligently building a system that fundamentally separates your time from your income. This concept is absolutely crucial, so let me repeat it. Separating your time from your income. What does that mean? In a traditional job, you trade your hours for money. If you stop working, the money stops coming in. That's a direct link. The fast lane breaks that link. It's about gaining ultimate control, leveraging your efforts for exponential growth, and achieving incredible speed in your wealth creation journey. Imagine making money while you sleep. Not just a little bit, but significant income that continues to flow in even when you're completely disengaged from active work. Imagine your business growing, expanding, reaching more people, and generating more revenue while you're out having dinner with your family, enjoying a hobby, or simply relaxing. The growth isn't tied to your physical presence or effort in that exact moment. That, my friend, is the power of the fast lane. It's not magic. It's the result of smart design and strategic effort. And it works primarily because of a concept called leverage. Let me break down what leverage means in this context because it's a game changer. Leverage means that one action, one unit of effort, one investment of time or money creates many results, often many times over. It means your effort is multiplied, not simply matched. Think about time-based jobs. They don't scale. You literally get paid for each hour you put in. If you want to earn more, you have to work more hours. There's a direct, linear relationship. Your income is capped by the number of hours you can physically work in a day. You have limited time, so your income is limited by your time. Fast lane businesses, on the other hand, they are designed to scale exponentially. This means their growth isn't linear, it's geometric. A small input can lead to a massive output. Let's look at some examples to make this concrete. If you write an ebook once, a single time, you invest your effort in creating that digital product. But then you can sell it 1,000 times, or 10,000 times, or 1,000,000 times, with very little additional effort for each new sale. You leverage your initial writing time to create a product that can generate income repeatedly without you needing to rewrite it for every new customer. If you build an app once, you put in the upfront work of coding, designing, and testing. But then millions of people can download it from an app store, paying a small fee each time. Your one-time effort created a product that can serve a massive audience globally, generating continuous revenue. If you create a YouTube channel, you record and edit videos. Once those videos are uploaded, they can keep earning advertising revenue or bring in new customers for your business while you sleep, while you're on vacation, or while you're working on new content. Your past content continues to work for you. Here's another illustrative example, perhaps closer to a physical product. Say you're a highly skilled craftsperson who makes beautiful, handcrafted furniture. You pour your heart and soul into each piece. A stunning wooden table might take you 12 hours to meticulously build. While the quality is amazing, that's not the fast lane. Your income is directly tied to the hours you spend building each individual table. If you want to make more money, you have to spend more hours, and there's a limit to how many hours you have. Think about huge companies like Amazon. Jeff Bezos, the founder, doesn't personally pack your order and ship it to you. He built an intricate, massive system of warehouses, logistics, technology, and employees. His initial vision and effort were leveraged through a sophisticated system, or consider Airbnb. The founders don't personally clean your room or hand you the keys when you check into a rental. They build a platform, a system that connects hosts and guests, and they earn a fee for every transaction that occurs on that platform without being involved in the day-to-day operations of each individual rental. The fast lane is about building, creating, and designing systems that work for you, that generate income independently of your direct, minute-by-minute labor. It's about making your effort count far beyond the specific moment you put it in. MJ DeMarco's definition of wealth is refreshingly different, and it's far more expansive than just a big bank account number. To him, true wealth is not just about dollars in a bank, it's about freedom, choices, and control. Think about that. What's the point of having a lot of money if you're still trapped, either by endless work, by a lack of time, or by a life that feels out of your hands? MJ argues that real wealth gives you the ability to make choices that align with your deepest desires, to live life on your own terms, and to have ultimate control over your time and your destiny. And this kind of wealth, he asserts, isn't built by clinging to the slow, traditional 9-to-5 plan. Instead, it's built by following what he calls the Fastlane wealth equation. Wealth equals net profit plus asset value times scale times. Time decoupling. Let's break that down because it sounds a bit technical, but it's actually very simple in its meaning. Translation? First, you create value. You solve a problem. You fulfill a need. You offer something useful to the market. This generates net profit. Second, you ensure that whatever you create has asset value. This means what you build is something tangible or intangible that can be sold or continues to generate value over time, like intellectual property, a successful business, or a valuable brand. Third, you design it so you can scale it. This means your product or service can reach a large number of people without requiring a proportional increase in your personal time or effort for each new customer. This is the leverage we talked about earlier. And finally, you achieve time decoupling. This is where your income grows, not directly with your hours worked, but through the efficiency and reach of your system. You make money whether you are actively working in that moment or not. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky theory or abstract concept. MJ DeMarco actually did this himself. He built a successful limousine booking website, investing his time and effort into creating a system that solved a problem for many people. He diligently worked to scale it, reaching a wider and wider audience. Eventually, he was able to sell it for a significant sum, becoming a multimillionaire in his 30s. He's not just talking theory here, he's lived it. He walked the walk. He experienced the power of the fast lane firsthand. And what's even more compelling is that he's not alone. If you look at every major entrepreneur you know, people like Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Oprah Winfrey, media empire, Sarah Blakely, Spanx, they didn't get rich by simply trading their time for money in a traditional job. They didn't punch a clock for 40 years hoping to retire. Instead, they all built something once that scaled like crazy. They identified a problem, created a solution, and then built systems and platforms that could deliver that solution to millions or even billions of people without their direct, continuous involvement in every single transaction. The core essence of the fast lane can be simplified even further. Fastlane equals value times scale times systems. It's about understanding the power of these three elements. These successful entrepreneurs took control of their financial destinies. They focused on creating immense value for a large number of people, and they did it by building powerful, efficient systems that allowed them to decouple their time from their income. This is the fundamental difference between building true wealth and simply earning a paycheck. It's about being an owner, a creator, a system builder, rather than just a worker within someone else's system. And it's a mindset shift that can unlock incredible opportunities. So you might be thinking, okay, this fast lane sounds great, but how do I know if my business idea or even a future idea is actually a fast lane idea? MJ DeMarco provides an incredibly useful framework for this. He gives us what he calls the 5 Fastlane commandments. Think of these as a powerful filter for your ideas. If your business concept can pass through this filter, you're likely onto something with Fastlane potential. If it gets stuck, you might need to rethink or adjust. Here are the 5 commandments. 1. Control. Do you own and control your system? This is absolutely critical. In the slow lane, you often don't have control. Your boss controls your hours, your salary, your tasks, and whether you have a job tomorrow. On the sidewalk, you have no control over your financial situation. You're at the mercy of your spending habits and unexpected events. In the fast lane, you need to be the one calling the shots. Are you the owner of the website, the app, the product, the content, the manufacturing process? Or are you just an affiliate, a reseller, or someone else's employee? If you're building a business based on someone else's platform, like simply drop shipping another company's products without adding your own value, or relying entirely on a social media algorithm that can change overnight, you might lack true control. You need to be the one who can steer the ship, make the big decisions, and truly own the asset. Second entry. Is there a barrier that keeps competition low? This doesn't mean your idea has to be totally unique or impossible to copy, but if anyone can jump in and do exactly what you do overnight without any special skills, knowledge, or significant effort, then it's going to be very hard to build a sustainable fast lane business. Barriers to entry can be many things: specialized knowledge, a unique skill set, significant upfront investment of time or money, strong branding, complex systems, unique relationships, or patented technology. If your business is easy for anyone to start, then it's easy for everyone to start, which means intense competition and thin profit margins. You want something that takes effort, focus, or unique insight to create, because that keeps the casual competition at bay. 3. Need. Are you solving a real problem for a real group of people? This is arguably the most important commandment. Many aspiring entrepreneurs get excited about an idea because they think it's cool or they want it, but the fast lane isn't about your wants. It's about the market's wants. Are people genuinely looking for a solution to something? Are they frustrated by a current product or service? Is there a gap in the market? Are you easing someone's pain, saving them time, making their lives easier, or helping them achieve a desired outcome? If your business doesn't address a clear, defined need or desire in the market, it will struggle to gain traction. People pay money to solve their problems, not to admire your passion. 4. Time. Can the business run without your daily grind? This goes back to the concept of time decoupling. If your business requires you to be physically present, working long hours, or personally handling every single aspect of its operation every day, then you haven't built a fast lane business. You've built yourself another job, perhaps one that pays better, but a job nonetheless. The fast lane aims for systems that can operate independently. Can you automate parts of it? Can you delegate tasks? Can you build processes that run in the background? Can you step away for a week, a month, or even longer, and the business continues to generate income and serve customers? If the answer is no, then you still have a time for money exchange, which is the slow lane, even if it's dressed up as entrepreneurship. Scale. Can it reach 100,000 or even 1 million people? This is about the potential size of your market and your ability to serve it. If your business model inherently limits you to only serving a small number of local customers or a niche that can never grow beyond a few hundred people, then it's not truly fast lane. Fast lane businesses are designed for widespread impact. This doesn't mean you have to start big, but your business model must allow for massive expansion. Can you serve customers across a city, a country, or even the globe? Can your product or service be replicated and distributed broadly? If your business is inherently limited in its reach, its ability to generate massive wealth will also be limited. These 5 commandments, CENTS, control, entry, need, time, scale, are like a BS filter for ideas. If your promising side hustle idea or your grand business plan fails 3 or more of these commandments, MJ DeMarco would tell you to seriously rethink it. It might be a hobby, a job, or a slow lane venture, but it's probably not a fast lane opportunity. If it checks all 5, you're definitely onto something with serious potential. Passion is the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. It can provide motivation and make the journey more enjoyable, but it shouldn't be the primary driver of your business idea. Start with solving a pain point, addressing a genuine need in the market. Passion can follow and grow as you see your efforts make a difference and generate success. Find a problem, solve it well, and then, if you're lucky, your passion for that solution will ignite. One of the most profound changes required to move from the slow lane or sidewalk to the fast lane isn't just about what you do, but about how you think. Most people are stuck in what MJ DeMarco calls the time for money trap. This is the fundamental belief that your income is directly and always tied to the hours you put in. It's the employee mindset, where your effort equals your pay. Here's how to begin the powerful process of escaping this trap. First, you need to stop thinking like a worker or an employee. An employee's primary focus is often on their paycheck, their benefits, their hours, and their job security. They exchange their time and skills for a wage. While there's nothing inherently wrong with this, it's not the mindset of someone building fast lane wealth. Instead, you need to deliberately start thinking like a creator or an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur's primary focus is on value creation, problem solving, building systems, and generating assets. They don't just ask, what do I get paid for? But what can I build that will serve many people and keep generating value? This shift is massive. It changes your entire perspective on how money is made and wealth is accumulated. The core of this shift is to literally build something that doesn't need you 24/7 to function and earn money. This is the ultimate goal of time decoupling. Your mind should be constantly looking for opportunities to create assets or systems that have a life of their own, independent of your constant intervention. Here's a simple yet powerful test to check if you're moving towards this mindset. Ask yourself, if I stepped away from this for a month, would it still earn money and serve customers? That's your critical test. If the answer is no, then you're still primarily trading your time for money. If the answer is yes, even if it's a small amount, you're on the right track towards building a Fastlane asset. This doesn't mean you build something once and then do absolutely nothing. It means your initial efforts are leveraged and compounded over time, allowing the system to run with minimal direct oversight once it's established. You might spend time improving it, marketing it, expanding it, but its core function of generating income isn't dependent on your daily hour-by-hour labor. And here's one of the best parts about this mindset shift in starting your Fastlane journey. You absolutely do not have to quit your job to start. This is a common misconception that holds many people back. You don't need to take a massive leap of faith and risk everything immediately. Many successful Fastlane entrepreneurs began by building their Fastlane ventures on the side during nights and weekends while they still had their stable job providing income and security. This is often the smartest approach. It allows you to experiment, learn, and grow your Fastlane project without the intense financial pressure that comes from having no income. Once your Fastlane venture starts generating enough income to replace your job, and then some, then you can consider making the full transition. Is it easy? No. Building anything worthwhile takes effort, dedication, and persistence. There will be late nights, early mornings, and moments of doubt. But the concept itself is simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Start small, identify a need, build a simple solution, and get it out there. Learn and grow. As you get feedback, improve your product or service. Systematize what you do so it's less dependent on your direct effort, and then work towards scaling it. The mindset shift is about embracing the idea of creation, ownership, and systems rather than simply being a wage earner. It's about becoming the architect of your financial life rather than just a bricklayer, and it's a journey that can begin right now, even in your spare time. It's a perplexing question. If the Fastlane path exists, and it's been proven by so many, why do most people stay stuck in the slow lane or even on the dangerous sidewalk, often struggling financially their entire lives? Even really smart, educated ones. MJ DeMarco points to a fundamental human tendency. People fear risk, so they play it safe. MJ DeMarco states it bluntly. You don't get wealthy by avoiding risk. You get wealthy by managing it. This is a critical distinction. It's not about being reckless, gambling everything, or making foolish decisions. It's about taking calculated risks. What does a calculated risk look like in the Fastlane context? It means investing your time in building a business instead of watching TV, spending your own money to learn a new skill or develop a product rather than relying on a fixed salary, facing the possibility of failure and learning from it instead of sticking to the comfortable known, putting your ideas out there and receiving feedback, even criticism, rather than keeping them hidden. The traditional 9-to-5 job might feel stable because of the consistent paycheck, but as we discussed, it's not scalable and it's definitely not fast. Your income is capped and your wealth accumulation is tied to a linear progression over many decades. This means you are constantly exposed to risks like job loss, economic downturns, health issues that prevent you from working, or simply the slow erosion of your purchasing power due to inflation. These are risks that people often ignore because they are less immediate or dramatic than the risk of starting a business. Real wealth building in the fast lane requires calculated risk-taking, understanding the potential downsides, but also the massive upsides, and making informed decisions. Smart moves, not just working hard, but working smart, identifying opportunities, learning new skills, building efficient systems, courage to zig when others zag. The majority follows the slow lane. To get a different result, you have to be willing to take a different path. This often means going against conventional wisdom, enduring skepticism from friends and family, and pushing through your own fears. The reason most people stay broke isn't because they lack intelligence or capability. It's because they are conditioned to prioritize perceived safety over the potential for true freedom and control. They exchange the chance for exponential growth for the comfort of a predictable, but ultimately limited income. Breaking free requires challenging those ingrained fears and embracing a mindset where risk is not something to be avoided at all costs, but something to be understood, managed, and leveraged for greater rewards. It's one thing to read about theories and formulas, but it's another entirely to hear from someone who actually lived the principles they teach. MJ DeMarco isn't just an armchair philosopher. He's a living testament to the power of the fast lane. His story is incredibly relatable because he didn't start with a silver spoon in his mouth or some inherent genius. He started where many people find themselves, working a job, feeling stuck, and dreaming of more. MJ's early career saw him as a valet. Imagine that, parking expensive cars, making meager tips, and constantly watching rich folks drive away in their Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and other luxury vehicles. Day in and day out, he saw the stark contrast between his financial situation and theirs. It must have been a constant, visual reminder of the kind of financial freedom he craved but didn't possess. This repeated observation, this daily exposure to wealth he didn't have, eventually led to a crucial moment of realization, a profound shift in his thinking. One day it just clicked for him. He looked at those wealthy individuals, and instead of feeling resentment or hopelessness, a powerful question formed in his mind. If they're doing it, why not me? From that moment on, MJ dedicated himself to finding the answers. He studied. He devoured books, listened to audio programs, and sought out information on entrepreneurship and business. He didn't just wish for things to be different. He actively sought knowledge. Then, he didn't just study, he started to build. He took action, applying what he learned. This wasn't a straight, easy path. It rarely is for entrepreneurs. He failed. He tried things that didn't work. He encountered setbacks, frustrations, and probably moments of self-doubt, just like anyone who ventures into the unknown. But here's the key. He didn't let those failures define him or stop him. He analyzed what went wrong, learned from his mistakes, and then he built again. This iterative process of learning, building, failing, learning again, and building better is the very blueprint for Fastlane success. It's not about being flawless from the start. It's about persistence, adaptability, and the willingness to learn from every experience. MJ wasn't born rich. He didn't inherit a fortune. He didn't have special connections handed to him. He consciously chose a different lane. He chose to be a creator, a problem solver, a system builder, rather than just an employee. He chose the fast lane. His journey proves that the principles he outlines in the Millionaire Fastlane are not just theoretical constructs, but actionable strategies that can transform a regular person, starting from humble beginnings, into someone who achieves extraordinary financial freedom and control. It's about understanding the game, learning the rules, and then playing to win. Sometimes when you talk about systems and scaling, it can sound a bit abstract. So let's bring it down to earth with some real-world examples of Fastlane businesses. These are concrete ideas that illustrate the principles we've discussed. value creation, scale, and time decoupling. As you read these, think about how they fulfill MJ's CNT's commandments. 1. Build a software tool freelancers use daily. Think about a tool that makes freelancers' lives easier, something that handles invoicing, manages projects, tracks time, or helps showcase their work. If it saves time, improves earnings, or reduces hassle, it's instantly useful. Once built, the same software can serve thousands or even millions of users worldwide, with barely any added cost per user. After launch, it keeps running on its own. Automated signups, payments, and usage, while you focus on updates and support. You fully own the product, the code, and how it's distributed. It does take technical skills, time to build, and smart marketing to get it in front of the right people. But if it solves a clear, daily pain for freelancers, demand can be huge. 2. Grow a newsletter with 100K subscribers and sell sponsorships. Imagine sending useful, niche content straight to people's inboxes, news, insights, or recommendations they actually want. It saves them time and keeps them informed or entertained. Writing one great issue scales instantly. It reaches 100 or 100,000 with the same effort, and a single sponsor gets in front of your entire list. Old newsletters keep driving traffic or shares, and your email platform handles delivery automatically. You control the lists, the content, and the sponsor relationships. No algorithms in the way. It does require writing consistently and growing your audience, which takes effort and a clear niche. But if your content is spot on, it becomes a go-to resource people trust, and advertisers will pay to reach them. 3. Launch a podcast network and monetize it. Podcasts are personal, engaging, and habit-forming. Whether it's interviews, stories, or insights, if the content clicks with listeners, it builds loyalty fast. Each episode can be downloaded by thousands, and one recording keeps working for you over time, bringing in new listeners and ad revenue without ongoing effort. You can offer bonus content, merch, or member-only perks for extra income, all while running multiple shows under the same network. You own the show, the rights, and the sponsor relationships. Starting requires skill with audio, content planning, and guest outreach, but the audience payoff can be big. People are always looking for quality audio content, especially in underserved niches, so there's plenty of demand if your voice stands out. 4. Create an online course around a valuable skill. If you know how to teach something that changes lives or careers, like coding, design, investing, or digital marketing, packaging it into an online course is powerful. Once you record the lessons, they can be sold to learners around the world without limit. It's a one-time creation that earns over and over. Students can enroll anytime and go at their own pace. The course runs 24/7 whether you're active or not. You keep control of the curriculum, platform, and pricing. Of course, this takes subject mastery, solid teaching ability, and production time to make it shine. But the hunger for upskilling is massive. If you solve that with a practical, clear course, people will pay. 5. Build a niche community, brand, or content platform. People love connecting over shared interests, whether it's parenting, pets, finance, wellness, or hobbies. A focused community or content brand can bring them together. Once the platform or community structure is in place, it can grow through word of mouth and organic interest. Monetization can come from subscriptions, premium content, merch, or ads. Content you create once can keep drawing traffic, and communities often engage each other with limited moderation. You own the brand, the platform, and the audience relationships. It takes work up front, building trust, consistently posting, and keeping members engaged. But when people feel they belong, they stick around. If you tap into a real passion or underserved group, the potential for growth and loyalty is huge. All these examples are Fastlane businesses. They are all scalable, meaning they can reach a vast audience without a direct, linear increase in your personal time input. They all involve creating a system or an asset that generates income independently. Look around you. The opportunities for fast lane businesses are literally everywhere. So you've heard about the slow lane, the sidewalk, and the exhilarating possibilities of the fast lane. You understand the core principles, the wealth equation, and the commandments. Now the natural question is, what do I do next? How do I actually start? MJ DeMarco doesn't leave you hanging. He provides a clear, actionable roadmap, a series of steps to guide you from where you are now to where you want to be. It's not a complicated set of instructions, but it requires commitment and consistent effort. Here's your roadmap, broken down into manageable steps. Step 1. Audit your lane. This is the critical first step, and it requires brutal honesty. Look at your current financial situation, your job, your habits, and your long-term plans. Are you currently cruising in the slow lane, trading time for money, saving a bit, hoping for a distant retirement? Or are you teetering on the edge, perhaps even on the sidewalk, living paycheck to paycheck, spending impulsively, with little to no financial safety net? Step 2. Find a need you can solve. Remember the need commandment? This is where you put it into practice. Shift your focus from what you want to what others need. What problems do people face? What frustrations do they experience? What desires are currently unmet? Look for gaps in the market. This isn't about inventing something entirely new necessarily. It could be providing a better, faster, cheaper, or more convenient solution to an existing problem. This is the fertile ground for Fastlane ideas. Step 3. Build something useful. Once you've identified a genuine need, your next step is to create a solution. This could be a product, physical or digital, a service, a platform, or content. The key is that it must be useful and effectively address the need you identified. Don't aim for perfection right away. Aim for functionality and utility. Start small, create a minimum viable product, MVP, something that solves the core problem and can be put into the hands of potential users or customers. The goal here is to get started, to learn, and to iterate. Step 4. Systematize it. This is where you move from having a potentially good idea or a working prototype to building a true Fastlane asset. How can you make your solution run with less of your direct, minute-by-minute involvement? Think about automation. Can you use software to handle customer inquiries? Can you outsource certain tasks? Can you create clear processes that others can follow? Can you set up recurring payments? The more you can systematize, the more you can decouple your time from your income. Step 5. Scale it. Once your useful solution is systematized, the next step is to expand its reach. How can you get it in front of 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times more people? This involves marketing, distribution, partnerships, and potentially expanding your offerings. Can you leverage the internet? Can you reach a global audience? Can you build a community around your product or service? Scaling is about growth, about taking your carefully built system and applying it to a much larger market. The good news? You're not too late. The world is constantly evolving, and new needs and opportunities are always emerging. You're not too old. Age is just a number when it comes to entrepreneurship. What matters is your mindset and your willingness to act. You just need to switch lanes. You need to make a conscious decision to deviate from the traditional path and start driving toward true financial freedom. And then, you need to drive. This isn't a passive process. It requires consistent effort, learning from setbacks, and relentless focus. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you have all the answers, because you never will. The key is to start now. Take that first step, then the next, and keep moving forward. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Action is the accelerator. But here's the crucial counterpoint. Neither is being broke for 40 years. The slow lane, with its deferred dreams and constant financial anxiety, is its own kind of hard. It's a different kind of struggle, often a longer, more drawn-out one, where the reward is delayed for decades, if it comes at all. The fast lane offers a different kind of hard, one that leads to a much more satisfying and liberating outcome, potentially much sooner. So, the choice is yours. Are you going to continue on the treadmill, hoping for a distant finish line? Or are you ready to take control? Choose freedom. Choose the ability to live life on your own terms, to pursue your passions now, not just in some far-off future. Choose ownership. Choose to be the architect of your destiny, to own your assets, your time, and your financial future, rather than being a cog in someone else's machine. Choose your lane. The path is laid out. The principles are clear. It's a road less traveled, but it leads to extraordinary destinations. Now it's time to act. It's time to drive fast. It's time to live free. Hit like if this video gave you clarity. Subscribe for more summaries like this. Business, mindset, and money books that hit you like a wake-up call. Let's roll.